Hi everyone, my name is Tori, this is Novel Life, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my 23 books that I want to read in 2023. So I actually took a lot of time sitting down, asking you guys which books that I want to read in 2023, like 23 books that I definitely want to get to. Like obviously I read way more than that a year. I think I'm like almost at 450 books. I do want to slow down my reading for next year, so don't like come for me saying, oh my god, that's a lot. I know it's a lot. Yeah. But I wanted to sit down and talk about the books that I definitely want to get to in 2023. Some of them are new releases. Some of them are from authors' backlist that I want to get through. Some are books that I put off at the end of the year because I wasn't feeling them that I definitely want to get to next year. So yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time going into each book, because there's 23, but I'll tell you the reasons why. So the first one is Whispers of You by Catherine Cowles. So I have discovered Catherine Cowles in 2022. She's one of my new favorite authors that I've discovered this year, and I love her so much. And she reached out if I wanted an arc of this book. And I do know that one of the books in this series that's going to be releasing in 2023, I don't think the full series is going to be out in 2023, but one of the books has a chronic illness representation, and you know me, I love that. I cannot wait. So Whispers of You comes out January 31st, 2023, and that's just one that I'm super, super excited for. This is Hunt's story. I do know we saw Hunt in Hidden Waters, in her Tattered and Torn series. He owns like a security company. He comes to do something for someone. That's all I know, but I will read anything that Catherine Cowles releases going forward. I do want to catch up on her backlist, but that's one of them. Another new release is Jasper Vale by Devney Perry. I think this comes out January 27th? 17th? Jasper Vale is the fourth book in the Eden series. It follows the couple. They get married at the end of Garnet Flat. So it's kind of like either, I don't know if it's a marriage of convenience or like fake marriage. I can't remember which one it was, but I'm really excited. Devney Perry is also another author that I loved and discovered this year. The next book is A Nightfall by Penelope Douglas. This is the fourth book in this series, which is the Devil Knight series. I've yet to get to it just because each book gets longer and longer and longer. I've heard that this isn't everyone's favorite book, so that's why I'm not like dying to pick it up, but I do want to finish out the series. Penelope Douglas is an author that I've been obsessed with. I love her dark romances. I love her taboo stuff, so I'm really excited for this one. The next one is Luna and the Lie by Mariana Zapata. So my friend Cheyenne from that Tell Book Girl, she really loves this book, and I was like, wow, I feel like not a lot of people talk about this book. She's like, I know, but I really, really loved it. So during the Audible sale, I picked up the audio, and I cannot wait to dive into this one because I think it's going to be really, really good too. The next book I have is Winds of the Storm by Beverly Jenkins. Do I have this one? I don't have the physical book of this one, but I've been collecting her old school, like the historicals on my shelf, just because I like having them. But I do want to read this. I think someone dropped this in my little question box when I asked for books. People said this one. So I want to read more of Beverly Jenkins, and this is one that I feel like not a lot of people talk about, so I wanted to see what it's about. The next one I have is Dancing with Sen by Alexandria Lee. I don't know why I said Alexandria really weird. Anyway, my friend Cheyenne talked about this book. She mentioned this book. She told me what it's about, but now I don't remember. But I think it's some taboo or forbidden because that's usually what Cheyenne reads. So I want to read this one. Or it's A Marriage in Trouble. She reads those two things, and that's usually what I get from her for Rex. The next one is Next to You by Hannah Bonham Young. So Caitlin from The Love Librarian has talked about this author, and I did not read the first book, which is Next of Kin, I think it is. I didn't read this one. I was supposed to read this, I think as an arc. She sent me an arc of one book, and I was in a reading slump, and I wasn't feeling it, so I didn't read it before release day, which I usually never do. I messaged the author and I said, I felt really bad. I am so sorry. I just was not feeling it, and I didn't want to read it when I wasn't 100% into it because I knew that was going to affect my rating. But this is an author that I do want to get to when I get back into the light and fluffy kind of contemporary romances. I'm just not there right away. Another book that Caitlin and a bunch of other people have been talking about is Restore Me by J.L. Stiegers. I've been dying to read this, but I'm also terrified to read this. So our female character, her husband dies, I think, or yeah, I think he dies. And that just like hits me because like being married now, I'm like, I would lose my mind if Brandon died. Like if something happened to Brandon, it would not be good. Like no, I don't know if I could ever like move forward. And this is apparently her moving forward. She finds another love, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like I do love reading that, not gonna lie, but I'm just really nervous to dive in. I have to like work myself up to some of these super emotional books. So that's definitely one of them. Another one is The Protector by Jodi Ellen Malpass. Jodi Ellen Malpass is an author that I've discovered this year. She writes a lot of super dark romances, but she also has some billionaire stuff, and I want to dive into that. And I don't know what this one is. It's just one that I have on my shelf. Basically, when I made this list too, I came and looked at my shelves about books that I probably wouldn't get to unless I put it on this list. So this is one of them. The next one is Passion and Venom by Shanora Williams. So everyone has been reading this. I think McKay read it. I know Jess read it. I know Caitlin's read it. And I had it on my Kindle for a while, but I returned it back in KU. But I am determined to read it next year. I am determined. Because I want to read more from this author because I like the taboo goodness that they write. Another taboo book that I'm really nervous for, but I'm really excited, is the Off Balance series. So I put Balance by Lucia Franco on here. And I know some of my friends read this in 2022 and they loved it. I did read the first book. I have read Balance previously, but I hated it. I think I read it 4 or 5 years ago now. I just hated it. I was not in my taboo era. And I did not like it because she was underage. It's an age gap romance. But now that I'm loving Taboo a lot, I think that I'm going to have a little bit different reaction to this books and this series because I heard that it gets a lot better. I think one of the characters has lupus later on in the series. So I'm really interested to see what Lucia Franco does with that. Another one that I got as a recommendation from Cheyenne is Broken Play by Allison Rhymes. This is a marriage in trouble romance. I think she's mentioned it in a romance, like in a recommendations video, and it sounded good, and I marked it like as want to read. So yeah, a historical that I have is A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall. Alexis Hall is more famously known for the the boyfriend material and the husband material. But this is a historical that I want to read because it sounds really, really good. So my friends have read it, they've rated it highly, and I want to read it. The end. Binding Third Tea by Chloe Walsh. So I think Nikki has talked about this. Sam, I think, has read it or she wants to read it. I saw it on her shelf when I went to visit her. It's a thick ass book though. It is really thick. I just know it's super emotional, and I think it actually is a romance with an HEA. I'm hoping. I have to look that up before, because I'm going to be pissed if I read this book and it doesn't have an HEA. The next book I have is Promises We Meant to Keep by Monica Murphy. So this is the third book in this series. The first book is The Things I Wanted to Say But I Never Did. The second book is A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, which I loved, and this is the third book. I just never got to it because these books are extremely long, but Monica Murphy is an author that I read recently, and I want to read more from this author. Then I have Misfit by Elle Kennedy. So I picked this up when I was with Jess in Kentucky. We went to a book signing in Lexington, and we went to Joseph Beth, and this book was there, and I thought, Elle Kennedy, why not? I do love her writing. I heard this is more like her Aaron Watt stuff, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what it is, but I'm interested. Now, the next book I know is going to be like, what? You're going to actually read this? And that's Damaged Like Us by Krista and Becca Ritchie. So I read the whole Addicted series this year. I have a whole vlog reading all 10 books, y'all. Lily and Lowe, I despise their romance. I did not like it. Rose and Connor, love. Daisy and Reich, love. Now, this is the first book in the next generation. So I know one of the main male characters, because this is an MM romance, he is Lily and Lowe's son. Oh, what's his name? I can't think of his name. But it's their first son. And I'm interested. I'm interested. It's him, and I think it's Bodyguard, if I'm not mistaken. So I bought some of the audiobooks at an Audible sale. So yes, you guys are going to be like, but I thought you hated it. Yes, I do hate Lily and Lowe, but I'm willing to give their son a try. We'll see. The next book I have is A Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt. So this is another book that a lot of my friends have read and actually really, really loved. I wanted to read it because obviously Caitlin talked about it and she told me she thinks I would really like it. But the audio actually comes out at the end of December 27th, the last week of December. And I thought, okay, I have credits saved up, so I'm going to save a credit for that because I feel recently I've been getting through a lot more audiobooks just because I've been more busy, so I don't have time to sit down and physically read. But if I'm working or doing things around the house or driving or whatever, I can listen to an audiobook. So I wanted to read the audio of this one. I just know that I think she's a comedian. That's all I know about this one. As you could tell, most of these books come from friends' recommendations. I think all of these come from a friend's recommendations, honestly. The next one is Lilac by BB Reed. So I actually was going to do a Why Choose reading vlog. I scrapped that because I was not feeling it. This book was one of those books I just never got to. I am not a fan of Why Choose romance, but if anything can make me change my mind, it is a rock star Why Choose romance. So I have high hopes for this one. I have the audiobook. which is why I put it on there. I went through my Audible library, which books that I've already bought, added some of those on here, and books that I have on my shelf. The next two are actually new releases that are coming out in 2023. The next one is Powerless by Elsie Silver. This is Jasper's story. It is a childhood friends, two lovers, but they haven't been around each other in a while. She runs away from her fiance, like on her wedding day or something, and they're like on a road trip. I think that's what this is about. I love this series, and I will literally read anything Elsie Silver releases. So I'm extremely excited. I think this comes out in March though. So that's all I know about it. We don't even have a cover yet, but that's totally fine. The next one we have is Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. So Lucy Score is actually coming to Eagle Eye Bookstore in Decatur, which is about an hour away, 45 minutes away from me. With traffic, maybe an hour. It depends. But she's going to be there in February, whenever this book releases. Now, The Things We Never Got Over is not my favorite book. I think I read it when I was reading way too many small town romances, and I just wasn't feeling it, but I like this cover. I mean, I do like The Things We Never Got Over cover too, but I like this cover. I'm going to go see her, so I'm going to read it at some point because I'm really interested if I like her books. The next one is A Mile High by Liz Tom Ford. I saw this because Caitlin was reading it, and this is the same cover model as Erect by Lauren Asher, her not discreet cover, like her men cover, which I absolutely love those covers, like that Formula One series. I love the covers for that, both covers, the discreet and the men. But this one is a hockey romance. I think he's a single dad. I probably am getting them mixed up. So if you're watching this and you know what this book's about, I think it's hockey. I'm pretty sure it's hockey. I just, people have been talking about it and I want to read it. The last one I have is A Cosmic Kind of Love by Samantha Young. I actually have it on my shelf. I totally forgot I had that book on my shelf. I'm not going to lie. Totally forgot, and I think I picked it up when I was with Jess, and I'm just really interested in this Samantha Young book because I want to read more from Samantha Young. Catherine Cowles really loves Samantha Young, so I want to pick more up of this author, but that's the only reason why this one's on there, because it's on my shelf, and I heard Catherine Cowles talk about it. Duh. But that is the 23 books that I definitely want to read in 2023. I did not do well with my list that I made for 22 books I want to read in 2022. I maybe got through half of them. That's a big maybe. But to be fair, I put a lot of books from different genres that I was not feeling this year. So I put historical fiction books. I put a fantasy, like pure fantasy. Did not get to that one. I put some historicals. I was not feeling historicals this year, so hopefully this is what I'm in the mood for now. But who knows, it could change, It's always fun making these videos because I do really want to read these. But that is all I have for today's video because the new year is coming. And these are for 2023. Drop me a 2 and a 3. They have like the grayed out numbers, a 2 and a 3. Drop me a 2 and a 3 for 2023 and 23 books. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content for me. As always, I hope you're living a novel life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.